Every playoff game, analysts tell you the same thing. The team with more heart wins. Momentum is everything. But what if we could get beyond these cliches? I pulled every play from the 2025 NFL season, which is over 30,000 rows of granular data, and I built a Python analysis to answer one question. What does the data actually say about the Eagles versus the 49ers? Here's what I found. The surface level metrics tell you that the Eagles should dominate. But when you code your own custom metrics to measure how a team wins, not just they have won, a completely different story emerges. This is the Eagles' explosive offense versus the 49ers' grinding sustainability. And the data reveals which strategy has a mathematical edge. Let's start with the metric that everyone talks about, EPA, expected points added. This is the gold standard metric. It measures how much value a team generates per play adjusted for the opponent's strength. Look at this. The green bars are Philadelphia. Their passing offense is generating about 0.08 EPA per play. That's elite. That's actually top 3 in the league. The red bars are San Francisco, and they're barely registering. Their passing offense is basically neutral, and their run game is, let's just say the model isn't impressed. If you stopped your analysis here, you'd predict an Eagles blowout. You'd say Philadelphia is mathematically superior. But here's the thing. EPA measures efficiency in a vacuum. It doesn't tell you how a teams generate that efficiency. And in football, style matters just as much as output. So I asked a different question. What if the 49ers aren't trying to be efficient? What if they're trying to do something else? To answer that, I wrote a function that takes EPA and early down success rate, and I compare the explosiveness and the sustainability. The explosiveness is how often you generate large value plays, so the EPA will be very high, versus sustainability, how often do you complete a first down early, and then how successful are you on your third down attempts. This is where the story starts to flip. The Eagles have a positive EPA per play, meaning that they're explosive. But if you look at the y-axis, their sustainability isn't really higher than the league average. This is a boom or bust profile. They rely on chunk plays to score. Now the 49ers. They're barely explosive, but they're in the top third of the league for sustainability. And this tells us that they're not trying to hit home runs. And if you've been watching them the entire season, you know that that's not how they play. They're grinding out 4-yard gains, 5-yard gains, and just staying ahead of the change. This is a style clash. The Eagles want to play fast and explosive, and the 49ers want to play slow and methodically. And here's why it matters. If the 49ers can control the clock, they can limit the number of possessions the Eagles get, meaning fewer opportunities for this explosive Philadelphia offense to beat them. So I tested this hypothesis, and I created pass rate over expected. And so what that means is given the score, the time remaining, the down and distance, should a team pass or run? And this compares what the team actually does versus what the NFL suggests them to do. Look at this. Both teams run the ball way more than expected, but the contexts are totally different. For the Eagles, this makes sense. They have the league's best offensive line and a powerful run game in Saquon Barkley. They choose to run the ball because it sets up the play action. But for the 49ers, this is strategic desperation. This is my hypothesis. They're trying to shorten the game. They know that their defense has been leaky this season. They know that if the Eagles get 13 possessions or 12 possessions, they can score over 35 points. So they're going to manufacture a game script where there are only 8 or 9 possessions total. They're playing keep away. But here's the question. Can they actually execute this strategy? Can they sustain long drives enough to drain meaningful clock? Well, that's where the final chart comes in. This is the most important visualization of the entire analysis. These are the drive sustainability metrics, the boring, unsexy stats that determine who controls the football. First, we're going to look at the early down success. They're both essentially tied. Both teams move the chains around 44 to 47% of the time on first or second down. The rushing rate is again virtually identical, around 42%. But now look at the third down conversion rate. The Eagles convert 38% of their third downs. That's respectable, around the league average. But the Niners are converting around 50%. This is a 12-point percentage gap, and that's massive. This confirms everything that we've suspected. The 49ers are legitimately elite at sustaining drives. They stay on the field longer, they convert must-have situations at a significantly higher rate. Now combine this with their run-heavy approach, that you can get a team that can realistically execute 7 to 8 minute touchdown drives and shrink the game to 9 total possessions. And here's a strategic implication. If the 49ers win the time of possession 38-22, they only need to score on 4 of the drives to win the game. They don't need to match the Eagles' explosive offense point to point. They just need to keep Jalen Hurts on the sideline. Now here's the tension. The strategy only works if the 49ers get an early lead or keep it close. If the Eagles go up 14-0 in the first quarter, the entire game script collapses. San Francisco has to abandon the run, and once they're forced into obvious passing situations, look what happens. Their passing offense is barely generating value, and Brock Purdy isn't going to win a shootout against Jalen Hurts, and the numbers back that up. So the 49ers are playing an incredibly high-variance strategy. They need to win the coin flip, score first, and control the game from the jump. If they fall behind early, the math says they're toast. But if they execute, if they convert those third downs and keep the Eagles' offense off the field, the data suggests they have a legitimate path to victory that the surface level EPA metrics completely miss. So here's what the Python analysis taught us. The Eagles are a better team, but the 49ers are playing a better strategy for their personnel. It isn't about who has more talent, it's about variance versus consistency. The Eagles are a high-ceiling, high-floor, explosive offense. The 49ers are methodical grinders who want to turn this into a rock fight. And that's why I love doing this kind of analysis. You stop predicting scores and you start understanding the chess match. You see how, not just what. If you want to see the full notebook, all the code, data sources, and more breakdown like this, I've linked that in the description. If you've enjoyed this, let me see what matchup you want me to analyze next. Thanks for watching. Let's see if this data holds up on Sunday.